Mountain Dew's rich history with energy drinks goes all the way back to the year I was born, 2001. I've been collecting information about all of the Mountain Dew related energy drinks ever to be made. So get ready for the Mountain Dew energy drink saga. So, let me tell you a story. I'm not gonna tell you a ghost story or a story about a monster. No, this tale is all about Mountain Dew and its dive into the chaotic world of energy drinks. Back in the year I was born, 2001, Mountain Dew took a look at its sugary self and said, you know what we need? We need to amp it up. Red Bull was dominating the energy drink space. However, PepsiCo saw an opportunity to throw their hat into the ring with what they called Mountain Dew Amp Energy. And for a while, that would do. Mountain Dew Amp would be the only Mountain Dew energy drink released for the next 7 years. Around 2006, they redesigned the can, and in retrospect, it was probably in preparation for the coming storm. You see, back in the classic Mountain Dew space, they were releasing other flavors that were seeing some success in markets, so they wanted to try their hand in expanding the Amp Energy line. 2007 would see the release of Amp Overdrive, which was their cherry flavor. After the success of the second Mountain Dew Amp flavor, 2008 would see the release of 6 new flavors. One by the name of Elevate, which was a mixed berry flavor, Traction Sustain Grape, Lightning Charged Lemonade, Relaunch Revive, which was an orange flavor. Both a green tea and a black tea flavor of Mountain Dew Amp. 2009, Mountain Dew would see its last branded flavor of Amp in the collaboration with NASCAR called Trading Paint. This flavor was orange, lime, and berry. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the concept of a backdoor pilot in TV shows. I think the most popular example of this is in The Office, when we had that crazy episode of just like Dwight's family on the farm. They're trying to get a new spin-off show approved, so they build in the pilot for a new show into an already existing show. That's kinda how this all happened. Amp would become successful enough to spin off into its own brand, Amp Energy. Now, for the sake of the video, we're gonna keep talking about it because it's still relevant. Under the Mountain Dew name, Amp had so many successful flavors, they kind of stopped releasing new ones until 2013, which was the release of Amp Golden Apple. Now, 2013 is a big year though, because without Amp, Mountain Dew was left up the creek without an energy drink. So in 2013, Mountain Dew would release its coffee replacement, Mountain Dew Kickstart. For those Mountain Dew fans that want to drink a can at breakfast, but also want to have some semblance of healthiness. The first 2 flavors to release would be Fruit Punch and Orange Citrus, which are 2 flavors that still exist to this day. In 2014, we'd see the release of Black Cherry and Limeade. I believe some of the marketing indicated Kickstart After Dark. Also in 2014, Amp would partner with NASCAR once again to release Dale Jr. Sour Grape. So by 2014, the Mountain Dew energy drink landscape is looking cluttered. Even with the cancellation of Amp Black Tea and Green Tea back in 2012, it was still way too much. So in 2015, Amp would clean slate, redesign their cans, and release a whole new cast of characters. They'd release Passion Fruit, they'd release Strawberry Limeade, they'd release Blueberry White Grape, they'd release a watermelon flavor. While Amp Energy was over here killing it in 2015, Kickstart was over here killing it in 2015. You've got your original 2 Kickstart flavors that are marketed as your breakfast drinks to drink in the morning. You got your 2 that came after that, Black Cherry and Limeade, that were marketed as like the nighttime Kickstart. And now we've got another line, which is the Hydration Boost Kickstart. Pineapple Orange Mango and Strawberry Kiwi. This expansion went so well for Kickstart that in 2016, they'd released 4 new flavors trying to follow along the path of these different kind of lines of Kickstart. They added a new hydration boost flavor with watermelon. They added 2 new recharge flavors, blueberry pomegranate and blood orange, as well as just a regular addition to the breakfast drink line of Kickstart in grape. On the AMP side, 2016 would see the release of a partnership with Twitch to release a tropical punch flavor. I'm interested in what that tasted like. In 2017, we'd see Kickstart get rid of 2 flavors to make room for 2 different flavors. They dropped strawberry kiwi and limeade to make room for mango lime and a raspberry citrus flavor. 2018 would see the release of an original citrus flavor for Kickstart, an original dew flavor marketed as the Mountain Dew drink, alongside of an ultra original dew that was lower in calories. And on the AMP side, we'd see a whole long list of organic flavors. They had fruit juice in the drink, just like Kickstart, which to me feels like AMP is kind of losing the plot at this point. They were a part of Mountain Dew, now they're not, but now they're copying what Mountain Dew is doing with their energy drink line. It's just confusing. In AMP's organic line, they'd release organic citrus, organic grape, organic pineapple coconut, and organic tropical burst, which, as we know, is a lot of similar flavors to Kickstart. So that's why in 2019, AMP would decide to cancel all of these flavors. AMP wasn't the only one canceling flavors in 2019 though, because Kickstart would start trimming back their lineup in order to make way for the new competitor in the Mountain Dew line. Watermelon, blood orange, and the low-calorie original Dew flavors would all be canceled in 2019. Something big was brewing for AMP in the year 2019. Like the party cool. Not only did we see the cancellation of all but 2 of their flavors, we also saw them regain the Mountain Dew logo, as well as take over an IP that already existed in the Mountain Dew world. If you're not familiar with Mountain Dew Game Fuel, essentially Game Fuel was released as just a regular Mountain Dew, and it would partner with games specifically like Call of Duty, Halo, all of the classics. We got to see a return of that in 2023 and 2024, and it was planned for 2025, but it didn't come back. However, in 2019, Game Fuel, Mountain Dew, and AMP Energy would all combine together to make 4 new flavors under the name Mountain Dew AMP Game Fuel. Roll the clip.
This is Game Fuel. It's domination in a can. Tastes like loser tears.
New Mountain Dew AMP Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Mountain Dew AMP Game Fuel were released with 4 flavors. I'm talking Cherry Burst. I'm talking Berry Blast. I'm talking Original Dew, and I'm talking about Tropical Strike. That launch would go so well that they would add a new flavor before the year was over, called Orange Storm. With all the commotion going on, Kickstart didn't get any new flavors in 2020 because they had to share the space with AMP, who was kind of this edgy older brother character that they didn't know was there, but then showed up and is Trans Am and was like, oh, cool, and like, hey, I'm back, but like I'm taking all this stuff. Crazy. That's never happened to me, but I just go with me. Go with the thought picture in this. 2020 would see the release of new Mountain Dew AMP Game Fuel flavors in watermelon and raspberry lemonade. 2021 is where we start to lose the plot. The wheels fall off the bus, but we're still going at 100 miles an hour on the energy drink craze. Mountain Dew would announce a new line of energy drinks, also marketed as a breakfast pick-me-up with over double the amount of caffeine than Kickstart, and a lot of common flavors coming from Mountain Dew AMP Game Fuel and Mountain Dew Kickstart, all pouring into the new brand of Mountain Dew Rise. In March of 2021, Mountain Dew Rise would release with 6 different flavors in its roster. Pomegranate Blue Blast, yeah, the Kickstart flavor. They canceled that on the Kickstart side and brought it over to Rise. Talking about Strawberry Melon, Berry Blitz, Tropical Sunrise, Peach Mango Dawn, and Orange Breeze. Now, obviously, the Blueberry Pomegranate from Kickstart had to go. The Mango Lime from Kickstart had to go. The Raspberry Citrus from Kickstart had to go. The Watermelon flavor of Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel had to go. And the Raspberry Lemonade Game Fuel also had to go. Because we're talking about a new line of energy drinks. Now see, this is where things get weird. Both the storyline and in my own life, I came to the realization that something is up. You see, back in high school, when I went to Normal Community West in Bloomington Normal, every morning before school, I would go to my school's vending machine. It looked something like this. It had the weird elevator, okay? This is actually a picture of the exact vending machine. You see, almost every day of my freshman and sophomore year, I would go to this vending machine and I would type in the code for Pomegranate Blue Burst, which I had memorized, by the way. This matte finish silver can with the blue lion on the front every morning would greet me when that door thingy spun open and I could grab it. I loved these things. The issue is, I graduated high school in 2019. So you're probably thinking, Travis, you must be misremembering it. There's no way you could remember drinking that soda in 2016 when it came out in 2021. And you're right. I had the same thoughts. I had the same amount of doubt in my mind. I was second guessing my own self. Until, while I was doing research for this video, I came across this picture. Now, it might not look like anything to you, but to me, that made the difference. Because I remember this flavor, and I remember that it had a different colored pop tab. That wasn't a thing for the other Mountain Dew energy drinks that I know was a Mountain Dew energy drink, because I've loved Mountain Dew my whole life. So the only logical conclusion to this is that the soda dispenser at Normal Community West High School in Normal, Illinois is a time portal. This thing was getting me drinks 5 years early. 5 years before anybody in the public eye knew about Rise Energy from Mountain Dew, I was drinking it. This drink right here fueled my English papers and my math homework and made my stomach a science experiment. Call me crazy or not, but I'm sure, I'm positive, one of my friends from back in the day has a picture of me with this soda. And you can't change my mind about it. However, Mountain Dew had to change their mind about one kind of huge problem. You see, after the release in March, June of 2021 came around, and Rise Brewing Company, a coffee company, sued Mountain Dew. Rise Brewing Company had been putting out coffee energy drinks in cans for years. And Mountain Dew came around and named their energy drink Rise Energy. Rise Brewing Co. tried to sue them. Look it up. I've got a bunch of articles right here. Even though the lawsuit would take a while to settle and it would ultimately end up going in Mountain Dew's favor, they still changed the name because they're cool and they didn't want their products to be ripped off the shelf while this was all going down. So Mountain Dew Rise became Mountain Dew Energy. In 2022, Mountain Dew Energy would continue expanding their brand by adding a Code Red flavor, a limited time Baja flavor, and a cherry lime flavor to the lineup. 2023 would see the return of Baja, Mountain Dew Energy, and Pitch Black, and Major Melon. It would seem as though the Mountain Dew Energy line was doing great. However, bringing in household names like Baja Blast, Pitch Black, and Code Red was just a tactic to try to combat their tanking sales. Mountain Dew Rise wasn't doing too hot, and by this point they had way over diversified their Mountain Dew energy drink landscape. I mean, look at all of these Mountain Dews on the bottom of the screen right now. There's not even enough room. 2023 would see the devastating death of all of the Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel line. All of those flavors are gone. Kickstarted to try to cope for the loss of its older brother's biggest franchise would come out with Mountain Dew Strawberry Startup. It's a strawberry lemonade flavor. It's great. I reviewed it in the Kickstart series just recently. The following year, 2024, would see the extermination of Mountain Dew Energy, formerly known as Mountain Dew Rise. The only players left standing are Mountain Dew Amp, Original Citrus, Mountain Dew Amp Cherry Blast, Mountain Dew Kickstart Pineapple Orange Mango, Mountain Dew Kickstart Fruit Punch, Kickstart Orange Citrus, Kickstart Black Cherry, Kickstart Strawberry Startup, and Kickstart Grape. In 2024, we hear rumors that Kickstart Fruit Punch and Kickstart Grape were going to be leaving the lineup. And in January of 2025, Mountain Dew Grape officially left, leaving us with this lineup for Mountain Dew Energy drinks. As a huge fan of the Rise/Energy line, and someone who was ecstatic about the resealable tabs on Mountain Dew Game Fuel, as a passive bystander to all of the Kickstarts of the world going in and out of population, I think this lineup, to me, feels empty. Now don't get me wrong, I don't think we should start a new line. I don't think we should reinvent the wheel here. We don't need to go back to this. I just think maybe there's more to be had. Mountain Dew Amp, and then respectively Amp, climbed the energy drink charts to the point where at one point they were like the name. Right behind Red Bull and Monster, Mountain Dew Amp was kicking butt and taking names. And now it's fallen below 10th on the national ranking. Clearly, I'm a big fan of Mountain Dew. And this deep dive into a Mountain Dew line of product that I was unfamiliar with kick-started this whole Mountain Dew energy drink saga. I learned that Mountain Dew Amp has been alive just as long as I have. I learned that the vending machine at my school that I went to 10 years ago was a time portal. I also learned that Mountain Dew has had its fair share of lawsuits, not only in the energy drink world. And at the end of the day, while this lineup is awesome, it's missing some. First of all, if you've made it this far into the video, thanks for watching. Drop a like, go ahead, comment down below, and share it with one of your friends. But more importantly, comment down below about what flavor you want to see back in the Mountain Dew lineup. Get creative, make up flavors. I want to flood the comments with ideas for PepsiCo so that we can do the heavy lifting for them, and all they have to do is pull a recipe out of an old box. They can just pick it up, dust off the recipes, pull out a card and slap that Amp logo on there and start production. I want Mountain Dew Amp to be responsible for the next White Monster. Those things are addicting and they're awesome and they taste good, and I wish it was Mountain Dew. Thanks for listening to me, yeah. I've been the Midwest Mountain Dude, and this has been the Mountain Dew Energy Drink Saga. Thanks for watching.